Hello and welcome to this webinar on the HMDA 2018 changes for our Correspondent channel. Before we begin, I would like to provide you with this legal disclaimer. The materials and information provided during this presentation is limited to the discussion of PRMG's policies with respect to the amended Home Mortgage Disclosure Act and Regulation C and does not constitute legal advice. You are strongly encouraged to reach out to your legal and compliance department, consultants, and/or attorneys to ensure your practices, policies, and procedures meet federal and state legal requirements. This webinar may not be copied or recorded or redistributed in any form. For more information regarding the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's Home Mortgage Disclosure Act, please refer to the CFPB's implementation page, which provides a number of resources. Before we begin, I would like to discuss who has an obligation to report HMDA. PRMG has an obligation to report transactions for both the delegated and non-delegated correspondent transactions. However, the way we report these two different types of transactions differ. We must report all final decisions the same way in non-delegated as we do in the wholesale because PRMG is making the credit decision prior to closing. As such, we report all funded loans as originated by PRMG for the purposes of HMDA, even though the loan closes in the non-delegated correspondent's name. There is no need for the non-delegated client to report these transactions. We do not report denials or originations for the delegated correspondent channel. We only report loans we purchase from the delegated correspondent. The delegated correspondent is responsible for reporting all final decisions. Funded loans will be reported as originated by the delegated correspondent for HMDA purposes. For 2018, the CFPB has amended the Home Mortgage Disclosure Act, meaning for any loans with the final action taken in 2018 and reported in the March 1, 2019 HMDA submission must accommodate the new changes. The most significant change is that the CFPB is requiring new data points to be reported, most of which are already included in the standard loan file that you submit to us. However, effective for any application taken January 1st or after, you are required to provide a more detailed submission of the applicant's demographic information. As such, correspondents will have to obtain the additional demographic information from applicants on any application dated on or after January 1st, 2018. Any loan funded, denied, or withdrawn, final decision made, on or after January 1st, 2018, will have to include the additional data points from the loan file, like, for example, AUS results, FICO scores, etc., as mentioned already. The only exception is that the applications taken prior to January 1st, 2018, but with the final action taken during 2018 will not include the new additional data points from the new demographic information section collected by the correspondents. One of the big items that comes up with the new HMDA rules is who is responsible for generating the Universal Loan Identifier, or ULI. For non-delegated correspondents, PRMG will be using our own generated ULI on loans that we purchase or otherwise make a final disposition on in 2018 forward, because we are the ones marking those ones originated under our name, or we're the ones denying them and making the final disposition. For delegated correspondents, however, the delegated correspondent is responsible for providing us their ULI for that transaction. So then when we mark that loan as purchased, it will follow the originated loan originally reported by you guys to HMDA. Now, in order to generate a ULI, your system will require you to have an LEI, or legal entity identifier. You must register to get an LEI so that your system can then automatically generate the ULI. Now we're going to jump into some of the key changes in our FT360 correspondent portal for the new changes in HMDA. When you mark an application was entered face-to-face, you must enter the demographic information. On a face-to-face application, if an applicant wishes not to provide you their race, gender, or ethnicity, you must make an educated, reasonable determination based on their visual observation or surname. The system will now require you on a face-to-face application to mark for each ethnicity, race, and gender yes or no as to whether you made a determination based on your visual observation or surname. You will see the questions right below where you enter whether they're male, female, or they're Hispanic or non-Hispanic, or what have you. The image to your right shows the more detailed inputs for both ethnicity and race. Below that and highlighted also shows the yes or no questions when you take an application face-to-face. Remember, if an applicant chooses, "I do not wish to provide you this information," you must leave that box marked, but also provide the additional ethnicity and race information based upon visual observation or surname if the application was taken face-to-face. If the application was not taken face-to-face, then it is okay to only have "I do not wish to provide you this information," assuming, of course, the borrower did not wish to provide you that information. Your current LOS should also accommodate these new changes. Some systems like FT360 will show a red X through the government monitoring section on page 3 of the loan application. For applications taken January 1st, 2018 or after, the demographic information will go on the demographic information addendum because the government monitoring section does not have all of the required fields. If your system does not generate a red X through the government monitoring section, that is okay, but what is important is that you provide all the required data points on the demographic information addendum. To your right is a sample of the demographic information addendum. PMG will require this form on all applications taken on or after January 1st, so PMG has all the required information to submit its HMDA at the end of the year. This concludes our webinar on HMDA for 2018 in our Correspondent channel. Feel free to contact your account executive with any questions. Thank you and have a wonderful new year.